Hey guys, Raj Sanger of Car Security. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Raj's Garage update. Now, we recently dropped a video on the channel. There's a link in the description below, a garage tour. And in that garage tour, we showed you a car under the covers, a new car, a car that fits this era of hot hatch. We're going to reveal it now. So you know what guys, let's get into it. So guys, this is it, a Series 1 Escort RS Turbo in white. Doesn't it look fantastic? Now, why a Series 1? Well, I've already got a Mark II Golf 16 valve and the 205 1.9 GTI, as we just shown you, sitting in the shop on the mezzanine floor. Last year, I bought a white Renault 5 GT Turbo and started more or less straight away looking for an Escort RS Turbo to sort of fit that profile of hot hatch cars from the late 80s and early 90s. Series 1 or Series 2, personally I prefer the looks of the Series 1s, and here you go, my Series 1 Escort RS Turbo. So it's taken me about a year to find the right car, and I saw quite a few actually. This particular one belonged to a collector in Derby. When I say collector, listen to what he had. He had a Series 2 Escort RS Turbo in white, 26,000 miles. He had an Escort RS Cosworth, low miles, low owners, again in white. And he had this. You see the theme there? White Fords. This was the car that he decided to sell. So let's have a walk around the car, show you the engine bay, and obviously show you the interior. Starting off at the front, you've got the period correct fog lights and the overriders. Now, those of you that had these back in the day would know that you'd park the car in a car park, or you go out, you go shopping or whatever, come back, and some bugger would have pinched the lights, the overriders. In some cases, they'd pinch these sort of bumper ends because they're so easy to remove. So yeah, period correct, they work and they're in place. I prefer the looks of the Series 1. I prefer that squarer shape of the Series 1. The Series 2 is a little bit more curvaceous, a little bit rounder. Yes, a quicker car, probably a better car. This is a little bit more exclusive. There's not many Series 1s out there. There are many Series 2s up for sale. I grew up in the era of Series 1 and Series 2s, and I had a few friends that had Series 1s back in the day, more or less from new, and they love those cars, and I love those cars, and they were quick cars back then. They're not quick now, but we'll show you that when I get inside. Let me show you the engine bay, because that's actually very clean. Here you go, guys. Very clean engine bay. This is more or less a stock engine, bar the Bailey dump valve, which obviously everyone had some sort of dump valve back in the day. So yeah, stock engine, very clean, no silly wiring anywhere. Other than that, there's one other mod, which is the Piper Cross air filter, which I think has seen better days, so I'm probably gonna have to change that at some point. Car's been regularly serviced, although it's been laid up for a couple of years, so I think I'll need an oil service and a refresh. I wasn't trying to find one which was heavily modified, because obviously, if you have running issues, where do you go to? At least with this, I've got local mechanics that can look after the car. So let's continue walking around the car, and then I'll show you the inside. I'll be honest, there is virtually no rust on this car. It has been treated to a repaint at some time by one of the previous owners. So you've got period correct wheels, correct 15-inch wheels, 195/50 15-inch Toyo tires all round, correct stickers. Also guys, this is a custom. So there were a few non-customs. I actually wanted to buy a custom. What's the difference between a non-custom and a custom? Well, the customs have the rear pop-out windows, the sunroof, electric front windows. So the non-customs, the front windows used window winders. And also the customs had bronze tinted windows. So this is a proper Series 1 RS Turbo custom pack. Let's carry on walking. So round the back, you've got the overriders in place as well, proper spoiler and an exhaust. So back in the day, most of the guys changed the exhaust. We've got I think it's a Mongoose or a Scorpion stainless steel exhaust. There's no stickers on the exhaust, so I'm not sure which one it is. And if I open the boot lid, you've got a proper parcel shelf. Most of the time, these were cut and 6x9s were fitted in them, so it's very rare to find a shelf which has not been chopped up. And the floor plan, very, very, very clean, with the spare wheel there as well. Check this out. Right, let's show you the inside, and then we'll go for a drive. Here we've got seats that have been retrimmed previously, so quite happy with that. Actually, I don't need to touch the seats at all. The mechanism works, the forward and back mechanism works as well, so which is great. Steering wheel, the correct steering wheel, although a little bit worn, so I might need to look at replacing that. All the dials and the switchgear works, even the electric windows work. There is a Ford stereo in here, but that's not the one that came with the car originally. That Ford stereo is out of a Series 2. Stereo doesn't even work actually, it's not even plumbed in, and we've had a quick look around the car, there's no front speakers, so we'll talk about an audio upgrade as well at some point. So I think that's enough of that. Let's go for a drive. This is a 1985 Series 1 RS Turbo. This particular car is registered in May 1985. They were manufactured between 1984 and 86. Most of the cars are C-Reg. This is an earlier one being a B-Reg. Now, they were more or less all in white, bar a few special order ones. When I say special order, Princess Diana apparently had two. Definitely one, but apparently there were two in black. One was a decoy car. That particular car is going up for sale this month at the end of August, so it'll be interesting to see what that fetch is. Also, you've got the sunshine roof as well, which does work. It goes quite well. Braking, not so bad, and it brakes in a straight line as well, which is really good. I think this car is more about the fun and the excitement of the turbo and the boost and all the theatre and drama when the boost does kick in, the dump valve. It certainly does bring back memories of my youth, which was many, many years ago. Now, in terms of values, let's talk values. Now, I started looking about a year ago. Prices have crept up. So if you're looking for a Series 1 Escort RS Turbo, what would you look to pay? A usable car which maybe needs paint, about 20K. Something of this level which has been repainted, the engine's been rebuilt at some point, 25 and 35K. Something that's low owner, you would probably pay upwards of 35K for a Minter. And I know some have sold for much more than that. I know of one recently which sold for near enough £60,000. I know back in the day when these used to break down, people used to just leave them on the side of the road. They were worth like 1,500 quid back then, and just go out and buy another one. Every time I've started this car, it's been parked in the garage, every time I started it, it started straight away. Good engine, pulls nicely, gearbox is fine, no noises coming from the back, no creaks from the suspension, which is good. No creaks from the interior as well, actually. I think it's been all put together quite well. Right, let's get back to the shop and let's summarize, shall we? Right guys, that was fun. Proper workout too as well, no power steering, so when you're driving at slow speeds, it is a proper workout. Now, what are the plans with this car? First and foremost, I've got to sort that front bumper out. That paintwork doesn't match, so that's a simple fix. Car needs a good mop and a polish, so once we've painted that, we'll get it all detailed and so on. No security, so we're going to need to add a Clifford alarm with central locking, because the key, while it does do the central locking, a bit of a ball ache. Audio, now I'm going to do a subtle audio upgrade, change the stereo and the front speakers, rear speakers, obviously not going to damage that intact parcel shelf. Wheels, I quite like the polished RS7s, or should I go AZF-A's? If you've got a set, or if you know someone who's got a set, drop me a DM. And also lower it a touch. I think it's sitting maybe a tad high, so just lower it a touch. Now power-wise, I'm going to leave the engine stock, bar giving it a service and refreshing that air filter. I'm not hungry for more power, and I don't think this car needs it. So yeah, stay tuned. All those modifications that I've just mentioned, they're all going to be documented on the channel. Stay tuned, and there'll be separate episodes dropping on the channel over the next few months. Right guys, my Series 1 Escort RS Turbo. Absolutely loved driving this car. It's brought a smile to my face. I've also ticked that box in my bucket list. As you know, it's been on my bucket list for a while. What do you think? Good buy, bad buy? I think it's a pretty good purchase. Now, I'm not looking to flip this car, so don't be sending any messages to Car Security asking if you want to sell it. It's a keeper for a while. We're going to do those subtle upgrades, and it's going to then go in the showroom. Now, did you have one of these back in the day? If you did, we'd love to hear your stories. Actually, I had a friend who had one of these back in the day with a Power Engineering 300 brake horsepower, upgraded engine. That thing was just a monster. Obviously, I'm not going to do that to this car. Now, guys, obviously, thanks for watching. But first and foremost, before I do the ending, I've got to thank a few people who helped me find this car and were constantly tagging me in Series 1s that were up for sale up and down the country. So that's Jag Semi, Manny Gill, and Kieran. Thank you very much for constantly tagging me. I think I need to do a head-to-head at some point with my Renault 5 GT Turbo. Okay, that's a few years newer than the Series 1, but if you think back to the 90s, those were the cars that people had, and they used to race them against each other. Both these cars are stock, so it'd be nice to see which one performs better than the other, and the turbo lag and so on. So we'll do a head-to-head Series 1 Escort RS Turbo versus Renault 5 GT Turbo at some point. But the story doesn't finish here. I'm still on the hunt for a Escort RS Cosworth. So if you know somebody who's got an Escort RS Cosworth, has to be a later model, so the smaller turbo, ideally a Lux model. I'm not looking for a trailer queen, so if you've got something that's got 20,000 miles, is a two-owner car, and you want 80K, sorry, I'm not interested in that, but I'm not looking for a project neither. So if you know of one for sale, or if you've got one for sale, drop me a DM or email Car Security in the description below. We've got our email details. So yeah, guys, what do you think? Also, has anyone got for sale a steering wheel, a dash, because actually there's a crack in the dash, and anything else, the wheels that I've mentioned earlier on, if you've got those for sale, drop us a DM. So yeah, guys, comments, questions, drop them down below. As we always say, just drop them below and we'll do our best to answer them. That's very important. Like our content so we can continue bringing you more content. Share, and make sure you've subscribed to the channel so you have notification when there's a new update out or there's a new episode out about car audio product or shows and so on. You get the drift. So just make sure you subscribe to the channel. Guys, I'll be back again in another episode of Raj's Garage. See you soon.